Hello, viewers. I'm Vibhuti. This is Jaipur Dialogue USA. Welcome to the show. Please like, subscribe, and support our channel. Give your feedback, and press the bell icon so that you are made aware of what is coming next. I want to talk to you about a very interesting development that has happened. It's not urgent, it's not earth shaking, but it's a very interesting development that Mr. Trump has restricted or banned the admissions of foreign students in Harvard University. Why has he done that? What will be the impact and implication on Indian students, particularly? I'm not talking about Chinese or anybody else, but Indian students particularly. It is said that foreign students, Indians dominate admissions in Harvard. They are definitely very qualified, both in numbers, their scores, as well as the application that they make it to the university, which is the first choice. Amongst the Ivy Leaguers, Harvard always is the first choice. But I look at it from a different point of view. Mr. Trump is putting those restrictions on Harvard University not because he has some personal animosity against Harvard. It is the ideological part. He is not happy that Harvard University and Ivy Leagues have become a den of apologists, a den of appeasers, a den of pandering people who are pandering to a particular section of group of people, ignoring the welfare of some other groups. This is what is important. And anybody who knows these Ivy Leagues right now, we all know that they have become the citadel of woke education, extreme liberalism, or a kind of a behavior which doesn't fit with the normal people that we are around here. You have seen that happen. So much so that when the Jewish students were attacked, and when the Harvard, Yale, and a couple of other Ivy Leaguers were asked in a congressional hearing, do you think that was anti Semitic? And they did not have a categorical answer. They could not condemn the attack on Jewish people. Many Indian students have died in America in suspicious circumstances. I'm not talking about accidents alone. So, what is the impact and implication for India and Indians? Look, personally speaking, I will go back to the days when I was in RBI in Bangalore, when a Harvard educated consultant, PhD, had said that Indians need not go to Yale and Harvard and Ivy League schools or Oxford and others. They have to study their own texts, literature, and our ancient wisdom, enshrined in Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, and other places. So, what do you come to study to Harvard for? You want to become a better manager or entrepreneur or whatever your objective is. But my suggestion here is whatever happens, happens for a good reason. And every disaster offers an opportunity. So think about it. Even if you could afford, thanks to your parents' ability, to pay $90,000 a year for a 4-year education program, you are today saving about $500,000, all expenses included. Think what you could do with that $500,000. I would say there is an opportunity here to become an entrepreneur. You don't need to go to Harvard to become a manager sales or manager production or manager finance of a multinational company. Becoming a servant in a job, you become a servant, you remain a servant, regardless of how glorified you may be. Point which I'm trying to drive at, if not Harvard, so what? I'm asking, this is the opportunity for the government of India to introduce teachings of Mahabharata and Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita as a regular course in universities. You will emerge as a better human being, as a better manager. I would say, if I were in academics, I would say, I would make chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita as a regular course in Indian universities everywhere. What is IIM? We are teaching American management in Indian Institute of Management. I remember when I was a student in India, I heard the American Management Association president in Bombay say this very clearly, that you Indians do not need American MBAs because our curriculum, our courses are designed taking into account the American reality, American social political structure, our needs. They are not your needs. And he had said, you must develop your own. But as the saying goes, it's very easy to copycat. So Indian Institute of Management, based on American management techniques, were established. I have done my MBA in International Management Institute in India, Delhi. That was based on IMI Geneva, where we studied course curriculum what IMI Geneva offered. Now that has merged with INSEAD. Was it any different than Harvard? Not at all, because the textbooks were the same. My suggestion to every Indian is take that as an opportunity, grab it, seize the moment. And I will urge the Government of India, University Grants Commission, and Indian Council of Social Research to start courses in Mahabharata and Gita and Ramayana as life lessons and business success. Make chapter 18 itself as a success formula. I'll tell you that. I know this because I have studied it. Chapter 18 lays down the success principles, five of them. That's at the root of all management consultants in the world today. I dare say that. Point of the matter here is you are saving a fortune. You may not have the experience of America and Boston in studying in an Ivy League, but that is also a halo created. They don't have, to use a very interesting Hindi word, surkhab ke par nahi hote. You don't get the golden wings because you go to a particular school or college. Nothing of that kind. There are good people, bad people. You are everywhere. So my suggestion to everybody would be, what do you learn from this? Mr. Trump is doing it for a very ideological purpose. It's not about the education, it's about the kind of education, the kind of people. And Harvard University has one big, great thing. Almost everywhere in government on Wall Street, Harvard dominates. So how they are taking Mr. Trump's move, I do not know. Obviously, they are not happy. They are also aware that this is happening for a reason, that those institutions have become the citadel of woke education. And that's is being fought. So if you are part of the woke system, you will be unhappy. Otherwise, you will find a solution. Everybody who is in Harvard today, they can take a transfer. That option is available to everybody here. And I don't think any other Ivy League will not take an Harvard transfer candidate. Go for it. So don't get perturbed, don't get disturbed, don't get frustrated. There is always a solution. And that's the solution that you need to take. The subject of study and going accordingly. The second part, those people who are in Harvard and other places who are facing this dilemma. I was told long back that every Indian has a desire to go for the Ivy Leagues because it's a matter of prestige and honor. Fair enough. Nothing wrong in it, going to the whatever is known as the best of places. But in America, I also wanted to tell you, every single university has its own strength. So let me surprise you by saying that a particular college in Northeast, I'm not going to name them, where my son went to study, they had one of the finest faculty and programs in economics. My son didn't know that. For example, Syracuse University has the best program in information and broadcasting. That's the point which I'm trying to say. If you don't want, you need to find a university that suits your skill sets required. Do not get enamored by the charm of the Ivy League. I know, Fidelity, their fund manager was a lady who managed $2 billion of those days, big number, $2 billion quant fund. She was part of State University of New York system. So talent cannot ever be suppressed. So don't get worried what will happen next. Doesn't matter. If tomorrow Harvard closes down, do you think people will not receive education? So my thought process is don't worry. Find a solution. Find the ways and means. And I definitely urge Indian government today that Indian students are saving a fortune of their family money. $500,000 in 4 years, all expenses included, is a big money. So think about how you can deploy it to become more prosperous. Prosperity, entrepreneurship, invention, innovation, leadership doesn't happen because you took a course in a particular university. It is inside. It's inside. A chaiwala can become the Prime Minister of India. Whether you like him or not doesn't matter. But a chaiwala can become Prime Minister and remain staying top in the leadership, rankings from amongst all the leaders today. So the question here is, how do you frame the reference to your life and your learning? All right. I've kept this conversation simple because remember one thing what Einstein said, any intelligent fool can complicate a simple problem. It takes courage to move in the other direction. So, friends, if no Harvard, doesn't matter. There is so much more available elsewhere. But this is also a moment of rediscovery and finding what we need to do today. Thank you very much. Satyameva Jayate. Find your truth. Thank you. Namaste.